Hello and welcome to NEPA Investigates. My name is CAMASSO, and in this episode we will discuss the possible second stimulus check, the reopening of the state of Pennsylvania, as well as your unemployment compensation status. There will be a great deal of valuable information in this episode, so please stay tuned. My name is CAMASSO, and welcome to NEPA Investigates. Hello and welcome to NEPA Investigates. My name is CAMASSO, and today is May 1st, 2020. We are amidst the coronavirus epidemic, and currently the state of Pennsylvania has begun the process of reopening the state and its businesses, as well as its public parks, facilities, and so on and so forth. Today, Governor Wolf gave a statement regarding the possible reopening of the state of Pennsylvania on May 8th. While some of the state and even some of our NEPA viewing region will reopen on May 8th, it is very important for you to understand the following details and the status of where we are here in the Northeast region, for the most part. There are 5 counties that are outside of the Northeast region that are part of our NEPA viewership area, and we're going to be going over all of the counties that were included and excluded in this May 8th opening date. Now, today being May 1st, there were some businesses in the state that were allowed to reopen today. Those businesses include golf courses, marinas, guided fishing tours, as well as privately owned campgrounds, meaning state park campgrounds are not open, but privately owned campgrounds are. All of the golf courses in the state of Pennsylvania can resume operations for the most part, not if they have a restaurant, so on and so forth. There are still limitations to all of these activities. However, they may resume partial activity, as well as marinas and guided fishing trips. All of that was able to resume today in all counties right here on May 1st. Now, come May 8th, Governor Wolf and Dr. Levine have initiated the initial phases of bringing the state back online. We are going to be kicking over into what is considered the yellow phase first. So we are currently in the red phase. We move to the yellow phase and then finally to the green phase, which is our target goal at the end of all of this. So first, let's move on to what is the yellow phase. So the yellow phase can be described as the following. You still have to do telework where it is possible, and it is highly recommended to do so. In-person operations must follow CDC and Pennsylvania health guidelines, and all of those will be implemented on the Pennsylvania Health website. There are safety orders, and all of those are implemented, like I said, by the Pennsylvania Department of Health as well as the CDC. These are all things that must go on regardless of your business, regardless of the operation. If your county has moved to yellow phase, these are things that must be adhered to. Child care businesses may resume with strict regulation. Schools, however, will remain closed and must do online learning only. Prisons and nursing homes will still remain not open to the public. There will be no viewership. Only employees are allowed on these properties. In-person retail will be allowed. However, they highly suggest curbside when at all available. So yes, businesses may resume operations. Most in-person retail businesses, that is. Gatherings of up to 25 will therefore be permitted as long as safety, social distancing guidelines are practiced. The 6-foot rule would still be in place as long as it is outside the family, but you can still gather within areas as long as masks and such are used. Masks are still required in the yellow phase for most areas. Gyms, spas, casinos, theaters, beauty salons, and massage parlors must remain closed. That is very unfortunate for a lot of people. That is a lot of people's occupations. And that's what we're going to get to when we get to the unemployment. But gyms, spas, casinos, theaters, beauty salons, massage parlors, all must remain closed. Masks are still required, as I mentioned, and CDC and Pennsylvania Department of Health guidelines must be followed and followed to a T, or your business can still be closed. So that is yellow phase, folks. And that is the very next phase that we're going to get to. Green means all restrictions are lifted, but there will still be heavy sanctions in place from the PA Department of Health and the CDC. However, the next phase, the phase that we are all trying to get to, would be the yellow phase. Now, the counties that are within our viewership that are able and ready to open on May 8th will include Montour County, Lycoming County, Bradford County, and Sullivan County. Those are the 4 counties. Once again, Montour, Lycoming, Bradford, and Sullivan counties are all ready and willing to reopen. So that is a good thing. Those are all, however, not in the Northeast region, and that is why they have been, I guess you can say, considered for reopening, and they will be allowed to do so. So that is a good thing for them. It's great to see businesses reopen, and it's also great that they fall within the categories and the guidelines required for them to reopen. Now, a lot of you are asking, well, how come they can do it and we can't? We're practicing social distancing. Well, here are the guidelines that have been implemented by Governor Wolf. This is what must be followed in order for us to move into those categories. So first, the region or county, as the verbiage is put. So this can be pretty much any point, any time. The governor will decide these things. However, it's worded that the region or county needs to have an average of less than 50 new COVID-19 cases per 100,000 residents. And this has to be for 14 consecutive days. So for 14 consecutive days, a county or region must have less than 50 or more new cases per 100,000 residents. Now that, in addition to, there must be enough bed availability within the hospital systems to handle an influx. There has to be enough PPE availability for all those first responders and emergency care workers and police and so on and so forth that have to have this in order to complete their tasks and jobs. All of that has to be in place, as well as there must be ventilator ability within the community for an ample amount of the possibly hospitalized patients. Those are the 3 major, and then the other additional thing would obviously be there has to be enough testing available for the entire population, as well as firm contact tracing system. So what that means is they're able to identify and track the contact. So it's a contact tracking system, I should say. But you have to have a firm contact tracking system in place. So you're able to identify outbreaks and prevent them and find out what areas need to be contained and so on and so forth. So those are the rules and regulations for the reopening of Pennsylvania. Now, where does that put us? A lot of you are asking, well, what's the timeline? When are we going to be allowed to resume these opportunities and these businesses? And even then, when can we move to green, which includes the beauty salons, the casinos, the theaters? Well, unfortunately, that's why I needed to bring this video to you. These are the facts. If you haven't already applied for unemployment, make sure you're getting on it, because this isn't going to be a short-term thing, folks. You're going to need this help for a substantial amount of time. If you are in the restaurant or service industry and you are a waiter, for instance, you will not be going to work for a good deal of time. You can't go back to work until green phase. Keep in mind, yellow phase, you still can't have sit-down restaurants. Yellow phase only means that you can still have takeout and delivery, the same options that are available now. So if you're laid off now, you will be laid off then. So these counties, I mean, look how long it's taken to move into yellow phase for counties where the population is substantially lower and I guess you can say they spread out more. As people are spread out more, obviously the less contact, the better off the cases will be, the less the virus will infiltrate the area. Take a look at New York. It is the most condensed populace in this country, and that is why it was ravished as it was. So what we need to understand is areas like Wilkes-Barre City, Scranton City, Allentown, these are all technically within the Northeast Health Region, and they are all categorized with us in a sense that until all of those numbers go down, certain counties can't be even considered for opening into yellow. Now, Luzerne County has, I believe, somewhere around 2,500 cases, and we've been around for a good deal of time. So granted, we're probably not substantially above the metrics required. He also did not give a guideline for the next time he's going to go and reevaluate the situation. You know, they set May 8th back, you know, mid-April for the next time that they were going to reevaluate the situation. Well, he has not given a definitive date. So we don't know when he can come back and say, okay, well, I'm going to move to the next phase for certain counties, or, you know, this county's doing better than this. He's not just going to jump into things like that. This is going to be a gradual process. First, they're going to see if it even worked in the counties to which they've implemented, the 24 counties that they've opened. He has to see if that's even a functional situation for them. I mean, they're opening a third of the county at once. That's going to take a lot of work. First, they have to check and see if all these people are following guidelines. What guidelines haven't been followed? How can they work on making them follow in the bigger populous areas, such as ours, so it doesn't ravish this community? So there are a lot of things that have to go into place before they can open something as large as us. So yes, we are going to be on hold for at least another month or two. Guaranteed, we will not be in yellow phase for at least another month or two. With that said, what we need to do for ourselves is focus on our future and our near future. So you have to really understand that in order to make a plan or to get your family from point A to point B, it's great to have a timeline. It's great to have an idea of how long you need to plan ahead for. Well, I'm letting you know right now, plan ahead for 4 months. In most industries, in order for you to be back full swing, the earliest will be 4 months. So when you see on your unemployment, do you have a callback date? Obviously, you don't have a callback date. Leave that blank. Don't give them the opportunity to say, okay, well, this is all you need, because you don't even know what you need at this point. And until your business can confirm to you that they're even coming back, because I assure you, if you work for a small business, please keep in touch with the ownership. You may not have a job to go back to, and you may be missing all of this valuable time to find a new opportunity. A lot of things are going to change, America, especially in a small area like NEPA, where there are a lot of small mom and pop small businesses. I hate to say this, but a lot of us may not be coming back. You must plan accordingly. Look into a new alternative career, look into temporary work, look into anything you possibly can. That doesn't mean you're going to be eliminated from unemployment. You still have the right to unemployment if you're not working. You need to balance and see which of those options are the best for you and your family. Keep in mind, even though a lot of this $600 bonus hasn't even been implemented yet, it is only good till the end of July. Now, they should be giving this retro pay back to the time that the CARES Act was signed, and make sure that you fight for that, because that is your right, and that was what was signed in the CARES Act. You have the right to that $600 bonus per week all the way back until the date that CARES Act was signed. So make sure that your state is paying you accordingly. Make sure that you are doing your claim weeks. Every state is different, so I can't give you a specific instruction. However, what I can tell you is to make sure that you are reading your state's COVID outline. There is usually a new guideline per state for the COVID. It's usually in red or yellow on your state's unemployment page. Make sure you're paying attention to this. This is the information that you need. You may not fall under the same category as you normally would when you fall for unemployment, such as unemployment for gig workers, for independent contractors, for sole proprietors. All of these things are new. These are new programs that have been implemented. Make sure you are aware of all of the funding that is available to you and your families. There are a lot of people out there helping. Look up Andrew Yang, the gentleman that was running for president. He's giving small grants. Samuel Adams is giving $1,000 grants to any restaurant worker. Not any. You have to apply. Funding availability, so on and so forth. But there are a ton of funding options available out there to you and your family in the interim. What I need to tell you about unemployment, there are 3 tips or hints that I can give you. You can't apply for unemployment twice. Once you enter your Social Security information, that information is input. That's in the system. That's finalized. What I can tell you is if you are an independent gig worker, so on and so forth, and you do work in multiple states, such as myself, I'm a DJ, I work in Pennsylvania, I work in New Jersey, I work in New York, I can file for unemployment in any state that I received income. I'm supposed to file in a state that I require the most income. But at this point, some states are working much quicker. If you are filing in New Jersey, forget about it. I have filed for help in New Jersey, and I have not even been able to receive a call back. I have not been able to call through because their call system will not allow you to call through. You cannot make a phone call to the system. If you email their system, you are only responded with general predetermined emails that have already been written, and they're generalized, and based on whatever information you're requesting, they'll send the most accurate pre-printed form. So you are not getting through to anyone. If your case for some instance is put on hold and you missed that one time they phone call you, you are waiting until this whole thing calms down. And that I can promise you. New Jersey has it backwards. Pennsylvania, while their system is old and antiquated and you get a busy signal, which is besides me in this new technology age when you can literally have over 2,000 lines with the click of a mouse. What I can tell you is if you download an app called Auto Redialer, it is a purple app on Android and it is a green app on the Apple iOS store. You must download this in order to get through to the Pennsylvania or any unemployment where there is a busy signal or any busy signal that you're reaching as a result of the COVID. Download Auto Redialer. It is a fantastic application. What it'll do is it'll take the number you're trying to dial, it'll sit there and redial it constantly. When it finally connects, it'll make a ring that you're a little bit different than your ringtone, so you'll know the phone is ready to be picked up and you have someone on the line. Make sure you're around the phone because obviously it is an instantaneous connection. It's not able to determine whether or not it's going to be able to get through until it actually makes that call. However, that is a substantially quicker way to get through, and it allows you to focus on your children and other things that you're worried about right now throughout this pandemic. There is a second stimulus package in the works. I shouldn't say in the works, I should say in discussion. They are discussing giving a $2,000 payment per month per person or per family. I mean, like I said, it's still in work, so there is no exact who's getting it. But what I can tell you is they are discussing, and that's the reason they're discussing is because they know how much longer this is going to last. Yes, some states are reopening. Some states are getting a lot of slack for reopening. I guess we're going to have to wait back and see. I'm not going to pass judgment on anyone. I feel that America is great because of the freedom of choice, and I feel that business owners should have the right to choose. However, I also feel that there needs to be strict regulation in place in order to protect America. And that is the point of regulation, that is the point of government. But never should choices be restricted or taken away as a punishment for something that no one can control. Northeastern Pennsylvania has been hit hard. We really need to focus on each other. We need to focus on working together to establish communication networks. Make sure you're on social networking. Make sure you're communicating with those around you. There are a lot of great ideas, great tips, great life hacks. We have actually even opened up a page called Critical Tutorials. That is going to be a fun informational channel where you can get tips, product reviews, so on and so forth, all based around the household product network. So that's another great thing that we're going to try and do as a public service. So there's just a lot of great things popping up for people to do, people to find. Make sure you're staying active and physically fit. That is so important. I myself have gained 8 pounds since this virus started. Granted, I needed to gain a few pounds, but I'm sure I'm not alone. So make sure that we are focusing on our body. I mean, we're focused so much on the virus affecting us that we're failing to realize how many other things are affecting us, such as our mental health, our physical health, so on and so forth. Mental health right now is being ravaged throughout the country. There are a lot of people that are stuck in homes by themselves and have become so lonely, and they depended on work and they depended on an outlet to communicate and to get that social health that they need. And a lot of that has been deprived as of the last month and a half. And that is a very long time for anyone to be away from anybody for a period of time. It's going to cause a lot of issues. We really need to focus on communication and make sure that we are visually communicating with people as well. I really hate the term social distancing. I think we need to redefine it as physical distancing. We need to physical distance, but we should never socially distance. We need to make sure we are socially close. There are so many fantastic ways to do that now with cell phones, the internet, cameras, every possible way that we have. We are so much better off than every other era before us. We need to utilize these technologies and these great feats of the mind and use them to better our mind and to improve our mental health and our mental stability. Here in NEPA, we have a great deal of resources and outlets available for mental health. Please, if you have no finances, you have no funds, feel free to call our studios, 570-500-4999. 5002. We will do the work for you. We will find a way for you to communicate with the necessary party to get you the help that you need. We are all here to help each other, folks, and that is the whole idea behind all of this. Please make sure that you share this information with everyone, because it's important to know when we plan to open, and that we may not have reopening in our states normally, statewide, for at least another 4 to 6 months. So please plan accordingly. If you don't have help, and if you don't have enough food to last you until your next paycheck or your next, you don't even know when you're going to get your unemployment for most of us. So by all means, reach out for the help you need. Don't be ashamed. This is not a time to be ashamed. This is a time to be proud of the community that you have and the help that is out there for you to receive. We are a great world, we are a great country, and we are a great people. Northeastern Pennsylvania has made me proud time and time again, and I am very proud to be a representative for NEPA Investigates. We will do our best to continue to bring you the coverage that you need and the information that's vital to you and your families. As I mentioned, Pennsylvania is beginning to reopen. We will reopen in phases, as Governor Wolf has indicated. Granted, it seems to be a very slow process. They are sampling with Montour, Lycoming, Bradford, and Sullivan. But keep in mind, Luzerne, Lackawanna, Carbon, Monroe, Pike, Wayne, Susquehanna, Carbon, and Wyoming will not be reopening as of yet. We will still remain in red. Again, Luzerne, Lackawanna, Carbon, Monroe, Pike, Wayne, Susquehanna, and Wyoming counties will not be reopening. Montour, Lycoming, Bradford, and Sullivan will be reopening on May 8th, but must follow the yellow guidelines. Restaurants still may not reopen in those 4 counties. School will not reopen, however, online schooling may continue to resume. However, child and daycare may reopen under strict regulation. There are a lot of other things that can happen. In-person businesses may open, but they request curbside. So again, congratulations to controlling the COVID-19 in Montour, Lycoming, Bradford, and Sullivan County. To the rest of us in the NEPA viewing area, hang in there. Make sure we're focusing on washing our hands, keeping physically distanced and socially active. Mental health is so important. Please remember that, folks. While viral health and our immune system is also extremely key, I honestly feel that more people will be affected by mental health than anything at the end of this. Please remain safe, remain indoors if you are in the red counties. If you are in the yellow counties, congratulations, but please proceed with caution as yellow does implement. And again, thank you for joining here at NEPA Investigates. My name is Corey CAMASSO. Thanks for watching.